Hello, you all. Welcome back to the channel, In Pursuit of Life with Sabrina. And if you've never joined the channel before, according to my analytics, most people who watch my shorts and a lot of them that watch my longer videos, maybe not as many as who watch the shorts. Well, it is not as many who watch the shorts, or people who have not subscribed. So please, if this channel brings you any kind of value, if it helps you, if it encourages you, which I aim to do, please subscribe. Now, this channel is about me walking through my healing journey. Just as a recap, most of you all who are subscribers or who are friends of mine know the story already. Especially if you're a friend, please go ahead and subscribe. It helps me. It'll help me. But this channel is just about me. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2015, and I am still on my healing journey. And it has been a rough journey. But one of the things I didn't see a lot was people who talked about the journey. I heard a lot of people talking about that they went through something, and it was encouraging, but I'm like, okay, but what did you do while you were going through it? That's the hard part, because you all, on the 1st would be the day that I went in, and they count that as the day that I was diagnosed, that I went in and we found, something was wrong, and they found all the ovarian tumors, and they checked out the lump. But it wasn't until the 15th, July 15th, that we found out that I actually had cancer. And it's been a long journey. And as you know, once you find that out, it takes a long time before you get treated. And that's something that I've talked about too, just having to be patient. But 10 years in, you all, we have found I've got six growths on my liver, and there are cysts also, which that could have been something that I was just born with, a condition to where I get a lot of cysts on my liver. But the growths are not cysts, they are other things. And so we're watching that. We have found a congenital heart defect. I've had all the symptoms of this defect, but they just found it a couple of years ago. And it's called upper left lobe partial anomalous pulmonary venous return. And that heart defect has caused me issues. We just didn't know what it was. And there's some damage to my left lung. Because I had radiation, it was back then before they were even more targeted with the radiation to the breast. It was this left breast. They did a block radiation. Well, it damaged my lungs. And my lungs, I have scarring to the lungs that has gotten worse since 2023. And the reason we know that is because I had an MRI and a CT scan just recently. MRI in 2023, just a recent CT scan a couple of months ago. I also have been diagnosed with what is called bronchiectasis. Bronchiectasis, I think that's how you pronounce it. And that's damage to the bronchial tubes, and it's on both sides. And we think, I went to see the pulmonologist, and I have a video on that, but we think that I also have had asthma all my life, because when he listened to my story of the different symptoms I've had, I've always had shortness of breath. So he gave me a rescue inhaler, and that has really helped you all. I think maybe I have had asthma undetected all my life, which is crazy as many times as I've been to the doctor. But, to even go as long as I did with the cancer, my lump that lump popped up. I saw pictures. I was able to find some pictures. The lump popped up in my early 30s. We didn't find it till I was 45. I would ask the doctors about it, but we didn't know we had cancer, breast cancer in my family. I wasn't aware that my grandmother, which you all, it's so important to tell your story and for people to pay attention when people in the family tell you that they've been diagnosed with something, because we known that my grandmother, who died, I think she was 65, had breast cancer. They would have done and taken it more serious checking me and doing an ultrasound and going further and to make sure that that lump was not cancer. So it was just by the grace of God. It was a slow growing cancer, and we found it, but it was in the lymph nodes. So I have had lots of pain, lots of fatigue. It has kept me from being able to work. So I'm talking about this journey as I go through. So today I want to talk to you about some things. I want to discuss the surgery I'm about to have and all the things that I've been going through up until the surgery. And so I will get started. First of all, I want to recap for you all who are new to the channel. I've had 3 car accidents in like the last couple of months, and neither of them have been my fault. But this last one happened as I was just going to pick up my nieces and nephews for school. Just a quick recap: I was turning, a girl was coming fast behind me. She wasn't even, because she was going so fast that when I looked through the rearview mirror, she was way back there. But she was just going so fast. So when I slowed down to turn, even though I turned on my blinker, even though I was not quick in the turn, she could not stop, and because she just wasn't paying attention. Well, first of all, she didn't have a driver's license. It wasn't her car, and we found out she even had a warrant for her arrest. But it took the trooper a long time to upload the report and the crash report, so we couldn't really do anything. And so we're waiting, and I just got called today from the adjuster. Now, the accident happened May 8th. We got the crash report on the 28th. They've been working, to get everything together. And I was going to go through my insurance, but if you know what my story is, I don't have money. I can't work because of situations, and I'll talk to you about that today. Just weird. I can wake up and just not feel well and be not well for a week, and we really don't know what's causing that. And it could just be the body fighting constantly, but it makes it to where I can't be on someone's schedule. And so I don't have money to pay my deductible, and so because I do have comprehensive and everything on my car, so I have to wait on their insurance. And thank God that the guy who owned the car had insurance. So we are now just waiting on him to tell. I finally got in touch. Well, the adjuster finally was able to reach me. She's got a lot of cases, and she had someone helping her with her cases, and she just got back from vacation, which understands the lag. But when you've been without a vehicle since then, it makes it hard. But she says all she's waiting on is for him to contact us to say that he did allow her to use his car. So I am praying that he is not going to lie about the situation, and that he will do it, because they were a little belligerent. Well, not a little, they were a lot belligerent. I'm not even going to go into details about that at the accident, because I think I talked about it in another video. But so I had that happen, and it's just been one thing after the other. It's like I moved from crisis to crisis, and that's been my life for a long time. And so I'm always at this state of not unrest, but just readiness. Because when you're unrest, when you're not in a state of unrest, and this is the reason I put it in those 2 categories, when you're in a state of unrest, you're not at peace. But if you are just ready, just in case something happens, then you have in the back of your mind something may happen, so you have everything ready, and you have the mindset of just being ready to roll with whatever happens. So that's kind of been my life for years. And before the cancer, it's just been, and it's not been even bad things, it's just things that I have to be involved in. And so I stay in a ready state. And sorry, something. And so that is something that I think has a little bit to do with what I'm going through. You all, I'm sorry. I hope you can hear me okay. I'll check my video afterwards. But it's a nice, pretty day in Texas. It's Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. If you don't know what Juneteenth is, I mean, just look it up. It's our Independence Day, especially in Texas. I'm in Texas. If you're not in Texas, that was the day the troops landed to let us know 2 years after we were freed that we were freed because our slave masters did not let us go. So this is why we celebrate Juneteenth, and it's such a big deal for Black people because it's our freedom. And so I'm not going to get off into that, but happy Juneteenth, you know. So, but what I was saying is, so I'm in that state of readiness, and plus I never know when I go to the doctor's office what we're going to hear. I've gotten really good at, you know, being okay for the most part, but I've heard so many disturbing things that most people, they might hear just one disturbing thing their entire life, and maybe two. But I've heard a lot of disturbing things when I go to the doctor, and it's, you know, these last 10 years, and I just never know. And so when I went into the pulmonologist visit, which I'm not going to go into details about that because that's on my last long video, when he told me what was going on and what we needed to do, I was like, okay, that's not good news, but at least we know and we have a plan. I didn't expect us to move this fast, but you know, it was like they called me and within 2 weeks I'm having surgery. And you all, I don't even think it was that quick after I mean, I was diagnosed with cancer. They found the cancer July 15th. I didn't have the surgery until October. They found the tumors July 1st. I didn't have the surgery until September. So we're moving really fast on this one. And so I choose not to be nervous on that part because it could just be they just want to preliminary just get out of the way, make sure they know what they're dealing with before we can go with the next test. Because I do have another test, a longer breathing test to check what's the health of my lungs. So anyway, so that's what's going on. So I have this, what we're doing is a right heart cath. And I think the long word is catheterization, but it's from the right. It's for the right side of the heart, because there is a heart cath where they just check the heart, but we are checking the lungs also. So they're going to go in, and I really don't understand exactly. I've been reading and about the procedure, watching videos about the procedure over and over, but not enough to be able to explain it yet. But they're going to go in, I think with this one they go in from the neck, and they with a wire, and because it was my first time, I think I'm going to get anesthesia, and then they'll numb this area. I'll get general anesthesia and they'll numb this area, and they'll go in from the neck, and they will be able to take pictures and to see what's going on with the lungs and with the heart, because you know the heart sits on top of the lungs, and one side of the lungs, and so they're going to check that to see a good picture. And you know, and then one of the things that I know is you can have I mean, they can do all kinds of scans. I've had lots of CT scans, lots of MRIs, but until you go in, you really don't know what's happening. So I've got one of my daughters coming, and she's going to help me, and I think it's really cool because I've always like had my mom go with me, but my children are old enough now. I mean, I'm 54, and I have a 31-year-old. He's married, and I have a 30-year-old, and I have a 27-year-old, no, she's 28. I'm sorry. And so they're old enough now to be able to help me, which is good. And so, and that way my mom doesn't have to take off work, but my daughter was able to get off work for that day, and she's going to help me the first part of the day. Then I have another friend just in case we have to tag team if it takes too long, because she's got to get back. She's an actress, and she's in a play, one of the main parts, and so her call time is a little later that evening, so she's got to get back to where she lives, her city. And so I have another friend that's going to tag team if need be, and probably will need be, to help me if they admit me into the hospital, or if they just getting me home if it takes longer. because I have had a surgery that was supposed to take a certain amount of time, and it took twice as long. So I have to prepare for that also. So it's a morning surgery. I report in, but I don't have to report in at 6 like the other ones. I report in at 9, and surgery I think is at 11:30. And then I have other people that I have on call just in case I need them also, to help, and just getting all the stuff ready for them. I have a list of people that they need to email as to what is going on, what the status is. Not email, goodness, I went way back, you all. Text. And so getting all that prepared. But it's really interesting because today or yesterday I woke up, and the symptoms I had yesterday are the symptoms that I no longer work my management job. These are the symptoms that sent me to the hospital in 2026, my last day at my management job. I went straight to the hospital, that they didn't know what it was. And I woke up with them yesterday. I was extremely tired, very run down feeling. And I take vitamins still, you all. I'm still exercising. I now have the inhaler, which has helped a lot, the rescue inhaler. But I woke up and I just didn't feel good, and I knew. But I had to go to the hospital because I don't have my vehicle, so I had to borrow my mom's car. Because I had an appointment in the morning, and then I had to go to the hospital to get approved, because I can't afford my copay. My copay for this surgery is $1,250 something. But they do have financial assistance if you need it. And I just happened, the advisor that I had was a girl that I knew. And she knows me and she knows my situation, so I didn't have to prove anything, which was a good thing because she knew. And so I got approved. They're paying for my copay, because if they hadn't paid for it, I don't think I would be able to have the surgery. And I can't even do, at this time, with me not being able to do like the work that I would do part-time just occasionally, with Amazon and Favor Delivery, I would not be able to make, I'm not even able to make payments at this time. And so God is good. He worked that out. I was really nervous about that, but he worked that out. And so the surgery is going forward. But I woke up yesterday and I was just not feeling good, and I recognized it, but I had to take care of those things. And I got home and I just got in bed, and my body just felt like, it always feels like I'm running a fever, even though I'm not. The veins in my head and in my chest and neck are just throbbing, really, like they're just working really hard. And even when I was in the hospital, they couldn't figure out what that was. And so, but now we know there's a heart defect. And so, but I was just so sick feeling, and I just had to just stay in bed. I couldn't get up, and this morning I still feel icky and I feel ill, and but I feel better than I did. And I know I've got to rest and take it easy because I'm breathless, and I'm pretty, and I know, we know it's got to have something to do with what we're looking for. So, but this is what happens to where I can't work, because I don't know when this happens. It's going to happen. And it used to happen a lot more, and it used to last a lot longer. So I think there's something I'm doing which I don't quite know. I am doing a lot of healthy stuff, so I don't know what I'm doing that has made it to where it's not so bad. But when it does hit, oh, it's horrible feeling. And that's one of the reasons I'm sitting outside, because outside is so good for us when you don't feel good, if you don't know that. So, well, that is all. I just wanted to update you all on what is happening, what is about to happen, and I'll keep you posted. But you all have a great day, and remember to have courage in your adversity, have courage in pain. Everything we do to move forward is not done in vain. Until next time, you all. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and even comment. Bye.